Welcome to the third episode of Cuts and Crates. In this episode, I talk to OG and stalwart of the dubstep scene in the UK and worldwide, DJ, producer and label owner, N-Type. N-Type's dedication to dubstep music and the scene itself has seen him perform at some of the biggest clubs and events worldwide. And in this in-depth conversation, we talk to him about his life, musical idols and inspiration, the formation of dubstep, creating an album, plus much, much more. Don't forget to follow the conversation on our Instagram, YouTube and X accounts. So please search for Cuts and Crates on all those platforms. So sit back and enjoy. And we are in. This is Cuts and Crates, episode 3 or volume 3, whichever one. And I'm sat with a dubstep OG from Wade, as they say. His name is N-Type, or Mark. I'll probably call it Mark from most of this.
Either or, mate. It's all good.
It's all good. Okay, mate. How you doing? No, you're right.
Good, mate. Yeah, good.
All right, good to have you here. You're on the list quite high, so it's good to get you.
I feel honoured. Number 3.
Number
You've had
3,
two wicked ones as well, Chrome Star and Youngster.
Yeah, they were both. Yeah, that was really two good ones to get. Like, normally you got to wait to build up to like the
You went in
the names
with a bang, mate.
I was like, you know what, Chrome Star and Youngster, how about that?
That get going. Wicked.
Yeah, that'll get the tongues wagging. I get. Yeah, man. So yeah, how you doing? Yeah, you're all right.
I'm good, mate.
I'm good. Mark has been paying me some bits and pieces before we started the recording of the podcast. So hopefully down the line in the pod we can share maybe a little snippet.
Yeah, I don't mind, mate.
Obviously in the post-production I'll,
you've just heard the freshest beats I've actually made.
Nice.
These ones are like in the last couple of weeks. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice one, man. All right, so thanks for being there. So where I want to start is talk to you about maybe your life kind of growing up, your household, your parents, your siblings, if you had any. What was life like for you at home? What was like the dynamic like?
Yeah, so it was me and my brother and my mum and dad.
Yeah.
We actually lived out in Reigate on the road to Red Hill, which is further south than I live now. I currently live in Croydon.
Yeah.
But I lived down there. So I grew up with my brother. He's actually 6 years younger than me. So I always sort of felt a bit like almost like I'm his dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just shown him the world. Do you know what I mean? But
you
he was never really into like music as much as me. He was more into sport. But as he got older, and actually when he went to university, that's when he really started hearing. He's like, all that noise you used to make in your bedroom, that's actually all right, that stuff, isn't it? Like, I quite like it, because he was out raving with the dubstep stuff when it was kicking off.
Yeah.
So he was more into bands and stuff like that. And I mean, when I was young, like I would say I was more into hip hop, rap, and some of the metal stuff as well, like some of the metal stuff. That kind of stuff back then was my first kind of like, and dance music that you'd hear in like, on the TV and in
Top
the
of
charts.
the Pops and that.
Top of the Pops and that. Yeah. And like, that was my sort of first taste of music as such.
Yeah.
And then as we went on, it moved into like a bit of hardcore and jungle and stuff like that. But that was me and my brother. But then I had my two uncles. They were the guys who really had the music thing on lock.
Yeah.
They were the guys who showed me a lot of stuff. One of my uncles, my dad's brother, he had a music shop, and like that side of the family, they were from East London, and they moved down to Croydon. The shop was called Potter's Music, and then it moved down into Merstham, and in the end they changed the name to Newton Violins. And they were bow makers, so it was like guitars, violins, double bass, all that sort of stuff, which I loved, but like they were always trying to encourage me to learn music and learn an instrument. But I tried the guitar, but I was pretty whack. Do you know what I mean? Like I could play like he's got the whole world in his hands. But that was about the only thing. I did the lessons, and the woman was really religious, so like that was the kind of music she was drawing for. I was like, "Where's Guns N' Roses and all that?
Where's Nirvana?"
Yeah, that would have been nice. So that was the kind of vibe. But and I wasn't really great at that. I sort of lost interest. Tried then to learn piano. Chords and stuff handy to know. Like I use piano all the time now, but like back then I was just too young. They got me into it. I mean, some kids they learn from well early, but like with me, I was still into computer games and like and like, you know, just that kind of style of, you know, like more like digital stuff at the time. Okay. So yeah, I had a Casio keyboard, loved that. That was banging. But yeah, so tried to learn then. Then when I found decks, I was like, yo, this is me, because I could interact with the music. Yeah. Like, you know, mixing two tunes to me is like making one song out of two, you know? So that's what I really got into, like, and that was my instrument as such. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, my other uncle, he was making me mixtapes and stuff, like little, cause we were talking about this earlier, like mega mixes and that. When you get the two tapes and you press pause and then you press start on the other, and you join the tunes up. He was recording like Radio 1 and all this stuff, and then just joining all the tunes together and giving me tapes. Yeah. And that really encouraged me as well. And it was just seeing two different sort of things. He had the digital thing going on. Well, it was analog. But then my other uncle had the instrument style stuff. So I was kind of getting a bit of both. My mum and dad, they weren't so into music. Yeah. But he used to have this like record deck with like a tape player and like EQs and everything. I loved the EQ bit. I was like, oh, you can sort of like muffle that bit out a little bit and then like boost the highs. And I used to like all that. And that worked wicked, but when it came into production later on. But yeah, my dad's record player was pretty iconic to me. He's still got it. He's still got it at home. Still in the cupboard. He's still got it. Do you know what I mean?
Nostalgia, okay.
Yeah, it's there still. I'll take a photo. Do you know what? I'll send you a photo.
I must be. Yeah.
Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, my parents had like the big, like the silver stack.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah, mate.
Jamos.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. This thing, I'll just show you a photo, man.
All right, cool. So you discovered DJing through that method, or putting vinyl on a deck, essentially.
Yeah, definitely that. Because I used to try and scratch on my dad's, you know, but it's not the right needle.
Yeah, we all tried that one, didn't we?
You know, just muller him, you know, just batter his records. Like, Mark, what are you doing? Oh, shit. Yeah.
The first time you saw the deck playing and you kind of like, you put your hand on it, stop it. Oh no, we can't do that. We've all been there for sure.
Which you will.
And there's always the bait of scratching as well.
Yeah, oh mate. I know. Okay. See, that's the thing, scratching, mate. I found that hard from the start. I still find it hard now. Yeah. I could do like dot scratch with a tone scratch. Like,
yeah, I've never tried
that.
Yeah. So that was your entry into DJing.
Yeah.
You were buying kind of vinyl before you were DJing as an actual hobby as such.
That's it. Like, I mean, because vinyl back then, tape and vinyl was your formats. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, there was only certain things you could get on vinyl as well. Plus, the other thing was, like, I was buying vinyl. My mate at school, James Rodriguez, his brother had decks. So at the weekend, we used to go up there and like I'd be mixing on his decks. We used to mix all day, like literally all day. It was wicked. And then my other mate, Gaskin, he had these old school Technics. The first Technics I ever mixed on, right? And the platter was like an inch. Like, it was massive. And they had rotary, like, pitch controls. Not like the normal Technics pitch controls. They were a nightmare to mix on. They were belt drive as well.
Okay.
Nightmare, right? But then I managed to get a second-hand pair of decks on my 14th birthday. Ian Gaskin, Ian Warwick sold them to me when I was at school. And I got them for my birthday. My mum and dad gave me the money to get them. And I was like, yes. And then after that, I just never looked back. I loved it. Yeah. But then I did a DJ. I thought I was good too quick. Yeah. I got too confident. Yeah. And I went to a DJ competition, mate, and I was clanging it up. They had Technics 1210s. Never mixed on them before. Oh. Got on, mate. It was awful. Like horses, like galloping.
And
through
the pitch feels like a concrete, isn't it?
Yeah. It was like, I just couldn't get it tight. And I was like, what's going on? Yeah. This don't normally do this. Nah. And then I just thought to myself, well, now I've got to get a pair of Technics. And like, I got a little pair of DLP2 second hand after that. And then I was like, mate, I've got to save up. I've got to get them. Yeah. And once I got my Technics, mate, I never looked back. I'm still addicted to the feeling of them now.
Of vinyl, of course.
Love the feeling.
Yeah.
Like, we had a mate, like me and Walshy had a mate, and they lived near him, and he had a pair of Technics. And it was the same thing. We'd go up for the weekend and just get there like nice and early on a Saturday, like, you know, you're double keen.
Yeah.
Like 9 o'clock in the morning, the poor geezer's been
in bed.
knocking on the door. I've come here with all my records. We just mix all day. Martin Randall, he was a top geezer as well. He liked garage, so.
Okay.
But good times, man. I love all them times, man. It was just so special getting on the decks. Yeah,
I've noticed it was a kind of a big event, wasn't it? Getting on the Technics and having a go at it. Even though you might not have had Technics at home yourself.
Yeah.
getting on them at your mates was like it's always such a like a
Yeah.
an
Because
event.
if you ain't got Technics,
You don't
like
know
just
that
to,
feel-
oh mate, it was like whoa. Like I know I'm geeking out over it. I'm
No, I
proper
love
nerding out on
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
I mean, you got to think then. Like back then, they were like what 600 quid for a pair, right? If you
Yeah.
get a good deal, right?
Yeah,
But then
they were
now
like that,
to
yeah.
get two 3000s, you're looking at $5,000 or something, isn't it?
Really,
Yeah, I think they're
Wow.
2.5 each.
I've not checked.
It's insane. Yeah. Like you got to think about like when we were kids, 600 quid. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like now, $5,000 is like whoa. That's a lot of money.
Oh,
do you
my
know what I
word.
mean? But you can get cheaper options, obviously. Like
Yeah.
you can get your controllers and all that sort of stuff. But wow, like getting on Technics, man.
Okay.
I loved it.
So obviously at the time when you were playing many jungle.
Yeah, it was
at the
jungle.
time.
Like that's what I was just mainly. But like once I got decks, I was just playing jungle
Yeah.
at the time, and then drum and bass started coming through, and I was playing drum and bass. And then at school, like half of my year, kind of liked garage, and then I'd say more of the year liked garage, and then I liked jungle and drum and bass and stuff. And we actually had a school radio. Like this is the first radio I
That
ever
is
done.
sick. We had nothing like that. Okay.
Yeah, it was quality. Like I don't know when it actually started. I can't remember. But they used to play like music over the whole school, like at lunch. And then like I was like, I want to play like jungle and stuff on it,
Yeah,
right? And then
yeah.
my mate's like, go on, yeah, that was good. Ask them, see if you can do it. And then they were like, yeah, you can do that. Like, that would be great. And I was like, wicked. So I was
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
in tape packs and that, yeah, and playing like One Nation at like lunch break. And then I'd get on the little mic and
That's
be like,
insane.
yeah, this is Andy C, One Nation. Like,
Yeah.
it's quality. But yeah, that was my first taste of radio. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at school. And do you know what? I forget to tell people that because I always sort of focused on when I started a pirate or when I did this and that. But school radio, I did that all the time. Like I loved it because I was getting to play music I liked. And then some of my other mates would bring tapes and they'd be
Yeah.
like, I'll play this tape. And it'd
Okay.
be like Tough Jam or something like that. Or it'd be like, you know, like, so I was starting to hear other music as well.
Of course.
From
yeah.
what I was used to buying. So like it was, you know, when we were at school, like I say, it was kind of split up. You have people, I like garage, and it was like, I like jungle, and it was like, I like metal, and it was all kind of split up. Do you know what I mean? But I kind of liked all of the music. Do you know what I mean? Like within reason, like stuff that I liked. So for me, I've always been about like merging genres, and like, you know, I like that. You know, I like hearing, like, I get a bit of influence from somewhere else, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. And I take a bit of that and put it in there. Do you know what I mean? And like that's for me with mixing as well. Like even when I was playing at Forward and stuff, I'd sometimes drop like Ace and Trip to the Moon in the middle of a dubstep set because the pitches were near, the tempos were near each other.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things like that. I like that. You know what I mean?
So okay, if you could maybe pick like one jungle tune or two that you loved from
Jungle.
when you started DJing, maybe not well,
Maximum Style. Tom and
Okay.
Jerry. Love that.
No, okay, I might have
Yeah.
put like a little clip in this in the post.
Yeah. That is wicked.
That's all and I get now, but little more I worries. Come in.
Yeah, this is N-Type, and you're listening to Cuts and Crates.
Come in.
I mean, I like some of like. Do you know what Goldie's album? I love that. Like,
Of course, yeah.
like Inner City Life was a wicked tune. Like just
Okay.
because it was just so different at the time. I thought like to what I was used to listening to.
Okay.
But I mean, when I was younger though, I quite liked like a lot of like the kind of ragga jungle and like yeah, I mean jungle techno and like, you know, like It's the Way and things like that.
Okay.
I mean, like, oh mate, like so loads really.
Okay.
Like,
No, I just want
there's
kind of ones
loads.
I can just like put in a little audio.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
Maximum
listeners.
Style, drop that,
Yeah,
that's a
okay, I'll
banger.
put that one in.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so-
Burial was wicked. Le Vectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a classic. It was all that stuff because I, like, you know, at that time, I wasn't raving. When I was a kid, I was super young. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, I was hearing it from things like tape packs that were, like, you know, popping up. I remember Dreamscape, like that tape pack.
Yeah.
Like, there was all the different numbers. I think, I can't remember which number it was now. There was a whole bunch of numbers that we got. I remember the DJ Hype was playing on one of them. And I had a Fantasia tape as well, which I used to love. And like there was, we were just swapping tapes at school. Do you know what I mean? But the DJ Hype mix on this Dreamscape, yeah, like I played it so many times. When I started buying the songs, like It was the Ganja Crew records and stuff. Yeah, those songs then, I was buying them and I was trying to mix them together like Hype did. Yeah, I was a bootleg Hype. I couldn't do the scratching, but like, you know, I was. If it weren't for Hype, I probably wouldn't have learned to mix so quick, because like that tape, I just went, oh, this is the way, because I've got these songs. Let me just try and mix them and get them tight. And if I can get them to sound as half decent as that, then I'm halfay there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that really helped me.
You set the bar for yourself quite high with DJ Hype.
I know, yeah. Never clocked the scratching, though, mate.
Only the best.
Yeah.
All right. Can you maybe talk about your garage influences then at the time? Yeah. Maybe you were, I presume you were buying garage as well at the time. Going to events possibly as well. Favorite DJ. Just give me a little
basically
insight.
What happened with the garage? Like I was saying, like half the year was into garage, half the year was into not a bit less than half the year was into the jungle and drum and bass. So when there was all these like house parties and stuff like that popping up, it was like I was like, well, I'm coming to these parties, I'm hearing all these tunes, I'm like, I like that, like, and I was just like, oh yeah, I kind of could get into this sort of bit. And then like Walshy was the one who really like sort of inspired me, because we started swapping tapes, and then he was showing me EZ, and like there was Tough Jam had done their underground frequency stuff, and
there was a big series of shit.
And it was like all like Together 24-hour experience, Blues for You, which was very similar in a way, and you know, all those kind of Todd Edwards, like Never Far From You, like all them tunes, and like I was like, I love this stuff, and when I was seeing how EZ was mixing it, I was like, I love how he mixes it, and like that kind of drew me into garage as well, like the actual mixing style, like how people were blending these tunes or how people were chopping the tunes. That really like excited me, just seeing how people were doing their stuff. And like, you know, that's another reason why I liked Hype, because of the way he used to play his songs and scratch and do like something a bit different. Do you know what I mean? So these people, the people who did something a bit different, stood out to me. I was like, yeah, that's sick. Like, do you know what I mean? So
I think with Hype and EZ especially, you would hear them play a tune or two tunes mixed together. Then you think, oh, that's the tune, and you get it home, you're like, that ain't what you played, but it is what they played, because but they mix it in a certain way that we couldn't do.
Like
really,
the way EZ used to drop tunes,
precisely.
Like he had that, like it would that element of surprise and stuff. Yeah, like you drop a tune, you go, right, I wasn't expecting that, and it'll go off. Do you know what I mean? And I loved that. He was sort of the one who taught me that. Because I was like, right, there's that element of surprise, or like you tease something in a little bit and then you do something with it to then drop it to make it an impact and stuff. Impact mixing. So, and Andy C, man, like so tight, and like I remember I had a tune by Todd Terry. Yeah, and it was one of the only drum and bass tunes that Todd Terry made. Okay. At the time, and it was called Blackout. Mm-hmm. And basically it was so hard to mix like from the start, because it didn't have like much, like when it dropped to this bit it goes woo, 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 woo. I'm doing the bass thing that you do when you walk in a record shop. Like, so that it was like there was nothing to really match it to, and I heard Andy C play it, right, and he mixed it through that bit and dropped it on the drop, double dropped it, and it was so tight. I was like, how the hell did you manage that? It's tricky, do you know what I mean? You just literally had to have it super tight on the vinyl and then let that bit come through, and it was a risk to drop it. And these are key points that I remember thinking, I need to get better. Because
if they clang it, then it's awful. But if you get it spot on,
tight on the drop, bosh. And I was like, mate, that was quality. So Andy C, Randall, Hype, these are all people I look up to, man. Like EZ,
of course,
like
man.
I love Todd Edwards' production, so good. You know what I mean? Like Grant Nelson, like amazing. Jeremy Sylvester, like these guys are just awesome. You know what I mean? Steve Gurley, like mate, I could just we reel off loads. Chris Mack, banging, like all this stuff was wicked. There's too much stuff, but Walshy was the one who inspired me with the garage stuff, and then I started buying both. I was washing cars, getting a bit of pocket money from like, you know, washing the cars down the street and stuff like that, and then going up to Croydon, I used to shop at Wax City for my jungle and Rewind Records. There was another one on Surrey Street, another one down the road from Big Apple, basically. Before I knew about Big Apple, funnily enough, and then. As I started buying the garage stuff, well, she was like, come Big Apple, they've got wicked stuff. And there was a place called Swag as well, and I started buying a bit of both. And Big Apple then became like really my sort of second home.
So as far as Big Apple, once we got into Big Apple, that would have might be more towards. I'm sure they sold garage, obviously, but
They sold jungle as well. Yeah.
Okay, but they would have.
Bailey worked there.
Oh, okay.
At one point. Yeah, yeah.
So they would have been more purveyors of the darker garage, I presume.
Well, I mean,
I'll
tell you what it was. It was in Apple, like from the early days when I first started going. There was jungle, but then there was because John, who ran the place, he was more into like house and stuff like that, John Kennedy.
Yeah.
And I think the Big Apple name comes from the house thing, the house like link. But there was a lot of like house there, and there was a lot of like garage stuff, and then jungle. That was kind of what it was. Do you know what I mean? But then, as it went along, like obviously Hatcher then started working there. Hijack worked there before Hatcher, and then Hatcher started working there, and then we all sort of started playing started going a bit darker, like you say. And then there was a lot of us bringing in tapes and CDs and whatnot, and just swapping music about. But it wasn't dark two-step at first. It was like 4/4 garage.
Okay.
And then as garage two-step came in, then he started getting loads more of that stuff. But the one great thing about Big Apple was he used to get TPs and stuff. I remember the first time I started getting into the TP stuff, and that Hijack actually saved me and Walshy at one of these TPs. It was a public demand TP.
Okay.
And he was like, "I've got you some TPs here, boys." And I was like, "Fucking hell, sick." And at that time we were just getting like labelled stuff and all that kind of stuff. But like John in that and Hijack used to save us stuff under the counter. So everything under the counter, everything on the shelves, like everyone's got. Do you know what I mean? But the stuff under the counter,
that's when you know you're in with a little in crowd, innit? Like they'll put a little under the counter business
and then there was they made this little room upstairs, like, and you had like a key and you could go into there and like sit in there with your own deck without headphones, because you had the listening booths and stuff. They came a bit later upstairs, but then you had this room where you could just come in, chill, like smoke a spliff or whatever, plug your tunes in and just play them loud, like we're sitting here with monitors. It was awesome, mate. And like that was just like, I used to, oh my God, like I was in there like three times a week, 4 times sometimes.
Oh God. Yeah, I think there comes a point, obviously you're saying that you're buying jungle and garage.
Yeah, together. So I get my mainly my jungle at the time. This is when I was buying jungle, that was before I knew about Apple. So that was Wax City in West Croydon. And then every now and again, if you go like Oxford Circus or something, I'd go to Black Market. But I go to Black Market like rarely, do you know what I mean? Because it was so far away from me. And actual fact, I remember as well, I had a mate who worked at R Price. Do you remember R Price?
Yes, of course.
He worked at R Price in Reigate, right?
Yeah.
And he used to get these lists in from like SRD. There was all the different distributors. There was SRD, V Distributor, and there was a whole load of people. And he used to get the lists. And I'd be like, oh. And he goes, I could get some of that jungle. I could just order it for you. And I was like, sick. And then he used to show me the list, and I'd look at the list, and I'd be like, oh, get me that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And then he'd order them in, and then the rest of the stuff I'd go and listen to at like Wax City or whatever, because you wouldn't get the promos like that. Those go to the specific record shops. But I used to get some good tunes off of him, do you know what I mean? Which was a touch, because it was down the road.
Okay.
So that was a touch. But yeah, man, like those days were awesome, man. I used to bunk school, and I mean, now I'm like, you idiot, Mark, what are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? But at the time, I wasn't really. I didn't like school too much.
Saying that, those were the kind of sacrifices we made to even buy music or get involved. Whereas now, you've not really got to sacrifice a lot to get into music.
If my daughter was bunking school,
exactly, you'd be like,
what? Screwing.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but you know what? I think even with life, I learned so much after school.
Yeah,
I learned a lot. I learned a lot when I went to college, in actual fact.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't think I was going to go to college. I got an A star for art, and I didn't get that many GCSEs, and I thought, all I want to do is music. That's all I want to do. And I didn't really know what else I was going to do. And then I was stayed at the sixth form. They said, you can do business studies. And I was like, and like, I'm dyslexic as hell. So this was like, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll stay there and I'll do that. And then my mum and dad's like, yeah, just do that. And like, you can't just like do, music. You got to do other stuff. You know what I mean? But like, art was always the thing that I just used to do naturally, which I loved. And for me, music and art is the same thing. It's all art. Yeah. It's creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I went to college, that was a game changer for me, college. Because like what it was is one of my tutors, she was like, yo, you're good at art, why are you staying doing business studies? You ain't going to do this. Do you know what I mean? Why don't you go to art college? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a go. And she was like, it's down your road. And I was like, really? I was like, touched.
Yeah, okay.
Then she was like, look, I'll get you an interview. And I did an interview. And obviously I got an A star for art. So when they saw my stuff, they liked it. They was like, yo, this is good. You should join the art college. And that's what I did. And that was a game changer for me. So I've got to big up my tutor at the time, because she knew, like, Mrs. Cooper, she was cool. Like, and she knew, like, this ain't right for you. You go and do that. Like, do art, do creative stuff. And then I went and did that. And then I did a GMVQ. Then I did an HND. Then I got an A star for A level art.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, maybe I should go to university then. And I was thinking, I was never going to do this. I was just going to do music. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. But, you know, I was like, okay, cool. And then I started uni, and I was like, oh, this is all right, actually. and that was even better, because then I was meeting people. We were partying.
Yeah.
Like, I was still on pirate radio at the time.
What sort of year would that have been?
So because I stayed a few years at that college, because I did a GMVQ.
Yeah.
Then I did an HND. Then I did my A level. So I must have stayed at that college for about 3 years. So I left school. How old was you then? 16?
16, yeah, normally.
Yeah. So I was at college for a little bit. And then, like, college was good because everyone was into jungle and drum and bass and stuff at the time. So we started going raving and stuff. But to be fair, I remember my first rave I ever went to, right, was Metropole, just down the road from where we are now. We're in Croydon.
Yeah.
Like, it was in Purley, right? It's now a boxing gym, right? But that place there was they did under 18s. And I remember Ian Warwick, who I bought the decks off, like, I was like, right. And he goes, do you want to go to this rave? I think it was Mickey Finn was playing, yeah? And then he was like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, let's go. It was only under 18s, you know what I mean? But then he was like, right, say you're staying at my house, and then I'll say I'm staying at your house, and then we just go. I was like, all right, sweet. And then a few people from our school were there as well, so it was wicked. But then it was a fight club, man. Up there was just non-stop trouble. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone was young and everyone's an idiot. You know what I mean? But it was that sort of era, right?
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved it. It was quality, and that was my first taste of raving to jungle. Do you know what I mean? Before, like, you know, ecstasy and all that sort of stuff.
Of course. So, kind of building the connection between Big Apple, Bar Music, going out raving, building the connection between that and then getting onto a pirate. Like, what were the steps you took?
Right. Well,
or like, who did you know who kind of was like, oh, come on, pirate?
This is the thing, right? What it was for me is like, obviously we were playing at all school parties and stuff like that, like gatherings, like mates, and then people started saying, "Oh, you're good. This is good." Like, I mean, we had the tunes. Like me, I was always playing a lot back to back with Walshy.
Yeah.
That's so. When we really started radio, like me and Walshy were making these CDs and giving them into like Apple and Swag, a few of the record shops in Croydon, and like we'd do like 10, like just burn 10 copies and take them into the shop and just selling them. And they were going like hotcakes, mate. We couldn't even keep up. We were like, shit, we've got to keep making more. Like, there's loads. And then like John in Apple was like, you guys should be on the radio. Like, these mixes are really good. They're going really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, okay, cool. And he was like, there was basically a like a legal station in Merstham, which is where my uncle's shop was, funny enough, in a community centre. And they were like, and he was like, do you two want to go and do like a Big Apple show down there? And I was like, yeah, all right, we'll represent you, mate. Do you know what I mean? And then, because he was like, Hatcher's not doing it, because he's on, I think he was on Upfront at the time.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, yeah, sweet, we're going to do that. And then we started doing it. And he was like, it's good, it sounds good. Like, and a couple of people would go to the shop, and you know what I mean? So it actually was pretty decent. Like, I was like, wow, they actually like it. Okay. So then, so then John was like, your CDs, I remember what he said actually. He went, your CD is my dad's favourite CD. And I was like, I don't know if he's taking the mick or not.
That's a seal approval.
But his dad was safe, like, so I was like, oh, maybe he just does like it.
Yeah.
But then he was like, you're doing this one, you should do a pirate, like get on a pirate. He goes, Delight FM coming here quite a lot. I think Mr. C, Colin, he used to come in there a lot. And he was just like, you should try and get on Delight. And then when we started on Delight, I was playing, it was me and Walshy, we were doing it together. I remember doing the mixtape for it. Yeah, we did the mixtape. Gave it in. And then within a week, they were like, "Yeah, you're cool. Like, come and do a show." So we were like, "Sweet." So it was in Battersea. It was a mission from where we live. Anyway, I was telling you about this earlier.
Yeah,
it used to be like, well, once I started driving, it was like 2 hours.
Again,
2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Calls. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we started, we did the drive time. We got us on 4 till 6, right? And I started, and it was half jungle and drum and bass, half garage. Like, Walshy was more garage, I was more jungle and drum and bass.
Yeah.
And they loved it. They was like, "Come on, you got to do it all the time." And I was like, and they were like, "Do you want to do the drive time every day?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And I was actually contemplating it. I was going,
it's a bit much.
Well, yeah. And then I was thinking, well, I'm definitely not going to be doing anything like other than this. You know what I mean? Because it's a mission.
Of course.
And then I was like, we can't do that. We'll just do twice a week. So we were doing twice a week. Okay. Even that was quite long. But like, still, it was great because we were in a place, we were playing on a station that was getting really popular. And like, they was doing Garage Delight and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, wow, we're actually a good station. And the phone line, bruv, used to pop off. And it was just like, we're somewhere where people are hearing us. Do you know what I mean? And like, I've got a big up Sponge and Colton and all them guys. They really looked after us there at Delight, man. It was wicked. And it was some of the most fun pirate times of my life. There was some crazy shit that went on. It was wicked. And then I was there for a good time. And then me and Walshy then eventually started doing our own shows. Like, so I did Saturday, he did Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And like, only because like we were back to back for so long that we were like, we want to kind of play our own sets as well. Do you know what I mean? And then we split up our sets, and then I did the Saturdays 4 till 6, which was quite a commitment because obviously all my mates were going out. I'd always be the one who was there late because it would take me a couple of hours to get home, and then I'd get changed, whatever, get out, and they'll be all out, all drunk already.
Drunk.
Yeah, and I'd have to catch up. But like, it's dedication, man. Music is my life, you know what I mean?
So yeah, you and Walsh on Delight. Obviously,
we were doing the drive time.
Obviously, RIP to Walsh as well.
Yes,
can't forget him. So that was around, I think, from 99 to 03, I think I've got down here.
Yeah. Because I remember the first set I ever did on Rinse, I think Code 9 brought me on, and it was the Forward show. He had a Forward show.
Actually, how did you get on? How do you kind of transition to Rinse or get on?
So
there?
what happened
was the story?
It was like,
that?
so basically with Delight, like Soul Solid got really popular at the time, and I think they'd had the tunes out in like 21 Seconds and stuff like that. They were in the charts. They were really blowing up, but the press was really against them.
Oh yeah,
and they were like, they were really gunning for them, and they were gunning for pirate radio at the time, big time, and it just got to the point where, like, I used to turn, because I was the first on in the weekend. So basically, how the time sort of worked was, like, throughout the day, like sometimes it'll be off. They'd be playing just like it'll be on, or like it will be off, and they'd like sort of have to bring the transmitter box to the block, basically, because the reason being was if they left it up there, the DTI would come and get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they normally confiscate that or chop the wires, and they'd leave the rig because they couldn't be bothered to bring all that down. You have to climb up on the top bit and all that. So they take the transmitter box, and there was loads of things they used to do, like de-lock it to like lampposts and whatever, like drains and stuff, whatever. Not a lamppost, a drain. Not a lamppost. on the top of a tower block.
That'd be funny.
What the hell? But yeah, stuff like that to literally just stop them nicking it. But it got bad. It was like they were just getting hit all the time. Like literally, like sometimes like twice a week, and like I'd drive up there, and then by the time we'd linked it, and like so I go and pick up one of the guys, like no names, but I used to come pick him up. He used to go up to the block. I'd wait outside and wait for him to go and link, and then he'd just link it on, and then he just say to me, like, stay on the phone, if you see anyone, just ring me, and I'll be like, sweet. So I'd say, wait there, and then it'd be like, everyone was always late, we're always late, so it's like getting more and more into my set, and I'm like, oh, fuck's sake, I mean, we're gonna even play, do you know what I mean? But we'd link it, get to the studio, next thing you know, DTI go and get it. Done. So it was getting ridiculous. It was like I was driving all the time, going up there. If I missed Saturday, I'd be like, just stick me on like another day, come on, I'll just come up. And it was getting ridiculous. It was just always getting hit. And then I was just like, I remember it went off, and it was off for a while. And I was like, I'm not doing radio. I'm just sitting at home. This is mad.
Yeah.
Like I was so used to doing radio every week. It felt like I wasn't doing anything. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm like, wow, like I do radio once a month, and I'm like, that's enough for me. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But like then it was every week, and it was like, but I just felt like I'm not doing anything. So I was like, I need to go to another station, and basically that was when I hit up Uncle Doug's. So I went to speak to Uncle Doug's, and then I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, mate, it's like a 3-month wait at least to get a show. And I was like, oh man. And I'm thinking like, oh mate, like I'm gonna be off for ages. This is not good.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, that actually was like, you know, it was just mad because he rung me like a couple of weeks later and he was like, right, I got you a set. And I was like, really? And he was like,
Nice.
yeah. And then it was like 2 weeks later, so I was on. And then I started and I was on at 1 till 3 in the morning at the time.
Okay.
I think it was on a Friday.
Yeah.
Like a Friday or Saturday. So it was even more of a commitment then. But I knew Rinse was banging and like, you know, like I just knew that this is the one. When I think back, like they were on Delight, I was still playing, I was making sort of garagey sort of tunes, like. But then once I went over to Rinse, I was already making sort of darker stuff because I did that set with Code 9.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously
like, that was darker garage then.
Yeah.
It was dark garage. Like around from about 2000, it was 99 really because you had like things like LB 1999 and you know Groove Chronicles and stuff like that. But then from then on, I'd gone sort of darker.
Yeah.
I was still playing a bit of like there's some mix. In actual fact, check out my SoundCloud because there's some mixes that I did for Delight FM. They used to play them all through the night.
Okay.
And like you can see what I was playing at that time. I was sort of half garage, half dark garage, dubsteppy stuff, all like sort of mixed together kind of thing. When you had people like Hatcher who were like solely dark garage and dub plates and stuff that he had from say, you know, Benny Hill or like LB and stuff like that. But so I was a bit of both still. Like
so was it called Dubstep then, or was it still
no, it was garage. Wait, when I joined Rinse, it was Dubstep.
It was okay. So you joined Rinse in
when I joined
03?
03, yeah.
Okay.
The tail end at 03. So then once I was like I had my own show popping on there, it was like really picked up was sort of like 04 onwards.
Okay, so you were on there with like a really kind of maybe going on a bit, but you're on with a really big clique of DJs who are on there like Hatcher.
Yeah.
Youngster might be on there,
and,
maybe.
Quiet Storm, who's Casper.
Quiet Storm, of course.
Yeah,
Code 9.
he was on before me.
Yeah.
I remember that, and he was called Quiet Storm at the time. He wasn't called Casper.
Okay, kind of. Did you know at the time that you obviously now you do know, but did you know at the time you were kind of breaking new ground at the time, as far as like culturally?
Well, for me, it was Forward that sort of started making me think that. Because and Forward was at Velvet Rooms originally, so I think that was 2001, isn't it?
Okay.
I think when it kicked off, and that then was from that moment from 2000 onwards, it was like where it really sort of started. The garage started splitting up.
Yeah.
So it went dark garage, it went grime, it went 4/4 garage, and then like that, and you sort of two-step, which wasn't dark, and that split up, like. You saw that when Forward started, that was, and there was like breakbeat garage as well, like
of course,
Zinc and hospital stuff.
Yeah,
what's his face? Landslide. So that kind of stuff really, like Forward for me was where I was like, we're on to something kind of new here, or they are, because I was on Delight, I wasn't really in that camp at first. Like Hatcher was the guy from our ends who was like playing at Forward and that. But like I was always bringing CDs to Forward to give to like Sarah and stuff, and I was she runs it.
You on Delight still giving stuff to Hatcher and Sarah.
Yeah. So like Hatch was playing my tunes at Forward.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was like later on. So like 2000, I think I gave him Square Off in about 2002.
Yeah.
Like, and that was I know he was playing The Ring in that before that.
Okay.
Like there was some tunes that I made, like early Dubstep N type tunes, that he was playing on dubplate for a long time before anyone else. And he played them at Forward first, and I was like, oh, sick, mate. That was just him playing them at Forward was great for me. And then, like, being able to actually play it Forward, I'll never forget that. That was like, for me, it was just an amazing experience. I was doing the warm up, but I was telling everyone at work, I was going, I'm playing at Forward tonight, and they're thinking like,
what is Forward?
But like, I loved it, mate, and I was gassed. But like, yeah, Forward for me was where I sort of realised something's coming together here. There's a movement. It's like I sort of like generalised it as dark garage, but it was definitely a movement, and that has inspired me so much. And it's like and I really wanted to play that. I was always giving CDs to Sarah
Yeah.
and that, and that's the first time really I
Okay.
met a youngster.
So you played on at Forward before you were actually on Rinse then?
No. I started.
okay.
No, I was going to Forward
Forward.
just as a raver.
Okay, cool.
And
okay,
then I
see.
joined Rinse, and then
You
they
got-
gave me
they
the link
to
up
play.
because I think then I was sort of becoming part of that camp as such.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like Rinse and Forward were very close. Like Delight was just out. We were like. Delight and Rinse were not mates. Do you know what I mean? They were like, well, not in a
Pirate beef.
Well, there was a lot of pirate beef. There was mad
Yeah,
shit going
always
on.
was.
But,
Yeah.
but the thing was, is like you had Pay As You Go from Rinse, and then you had Soul Solid from South, and then
Yeah.
like do you remember the clashes and all that? What was
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
of course.
You'd have them kind of clashing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
each other a bit, like, do you know what I mean? And then you had Heartless were clashing with like Pay
Yeah.
As You Go and stuff like that. And all those sort of times, like, yeah, we were different pirates, like, do you know what I mean? So, and the Southside guys, like from where I was, like, we weren't. None of them were playing at Forward. The only guy was Hatcher. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
okay.
obviously
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Horsepower as they came along, but yeah, it was a different time. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so like looking forward to maybe your actual show on Rinse at the time, and probably I'm going on for the next few years on Rinse. They were very. I remember as a listener, listened to your show kind of a lot, and your shows are always dub plate heavy, like always exclusives,
Yeah.
like
Always.
What?
That's what N-Type
Firstly,
means. It's new type.
yeah.
My surname's Newton.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's new tunes, basically.
So firstly, how did you afford all the dub plates?
Well,
And second,
I was working.
Actually, on that, yeah, go on, that's the question, yeah.
Yeah, like, I got a job from early, mate. I was working at a pub when I was 16, like, washing up dishes and shit like that.
Okay,
I knew that, like, my music was my thing. I had to have vinyls, I had to have records. And I wanted to be, like, I wanted to have loads of new tunes. I wanted to be like, yeah, you get to a dance and it'd be like, bosh, there you go, have a listen to that. And, that's when I sort of, like, discovered dub plates and started cutting and that, and I found transition. That was it was added to the addiction, mate.
Yeah.
So it was like, then I just wanted to cut everything on dub plate. Do you know what I mean?
I remember
It's
your
like,
show was like just literally. I'm thinking, I can't even
mate,
can't even buy this yet. What's going on?
you have to come around my gaff because
Yeah.
you'll see that I've still got all my dub plates. I haven't got rid of them. I still cut them. This is the thing.
You still cut?
I'm still cutting dub plates.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I don't often do that many sets with them. I need
Yeah.
to do a show. Like, this is the thing. Yeah, I've just built a studio down the bottom of my garden, right? And I'm gonna start doing some streaming from there, right?
Wicked.
And I'm gonna be drawing out dub plates and stuff like that. And I've been saying it for a little while, but I never really had the space. And now I've got the space. I'm gonna start doing it soon. But like, I'm still finishing. It still just needs a little bit more finishing, and we're ready to go.
Okay.
But and I've got to big up Lost as well. And big up Simon because they really helped me with it as well. But yeah, it's nearly ready to go. But I bought a green screen. I've got the camera. I've got everything
Okay.
ready. Do you know what I mean? So, but now that's basically what I want to do. I'm going to start drawing out dub plates, mate, because I'm still cutting them. I'm cutting them onto poly dubs now, which
Okay.
is like the plastic dubs. But really, the acetates, they just sound so good.
Yeah.
And they smell so good as well. You could eat your dinner off them.
So back
They're banging.
then, how are you meeting these producers? Like, of course, this is pre-social media. This is pre
Yeah.
WhatsApp or whatever you want to. Like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
were
yeah.
you? Where were you meeting these
Radio
guys?
really helped.
Okay.
Radio and going to raves.
Yeah.
Literally networking at raves. I met so many people out raving.
Yeah.
And like, when I was young and when it was the jungle days and all that sort of stuff, it was like I say, like under 18s and stuff like that. And by the time I was sort of into garage and that, a lot of my mates were going more garage raving. So the older lot, my brothers, like my mates' brothers, they were going jungle and stuff. And then we were going more to garage at the time. So I met loads of people, like tons of people. And then once I got onto the light, people wanted to send me tunes to play them. Because I was on the drive time, which was like a key.
Yeah, it's a key show.
It's a key show. Do you know what I mean? So then I got onto mailing lists like Salter Street. They used to send me all the Wookiee stuff and all that. Well, some of the other ones. There was loads. It was like who else? What other ones were there? Salter Streets. DJ Iron used to do one. I can't remember what that was called.
Okay.
Mate, my memory's
Yeah,
getting
no,
terrible,
mate. This is going back like
there
20,
was so
like
many
20 plus
like,
years.
there was,
so,
and that was crazy because every week I was getting like mailed vinyl through the post. It was just landing on my doorstep, and it was an awesome time because there was so much stuff. Like, it was, like, people just wanted me to play it on the drive time. But dub plates, that was like going to raves and meeting other producers, and Big Apple as well, mate. Big Apple for that, like, really was, because we used to bring in CDs. Like John showed me Benny Hill.
Okay.
John was like, I've got a mate who's making sort of this dark garage stuff that you're liking, because John knew us inside out. He knew exactly what we were buying and what we liked. Like, you know, we were very similar to Hatcher's sound and stuff that he liked. So we were buying a lot of these tunes, you know what I mean? So he was like, check out Benny Hill. That it was Horsepower. And I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is wicked. And then he got signed to Temper.
Okay,
and then I think that's Temper #1 was Benny Hill, was Horsepower. Which was, there was a few of them in the crew. Big up Matt as well. But yeah, so that, like, was, for me, like, LB in that was dubstep, really. It kind of was dubstep, but it was garage. It was dark garage.
It was on the way there, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's definitely a godfather of dubstep.
Yeah, for sure.
And people like Zeb Bias as well. And Benny Hill, when his tunes dropped on my plate as such, then it was like, it just started going dubstep.
Yeah, is that when you felt it was the change was coming?
I think that was the change. That was the change from garage to dubstep, because of the way that he, like, placed his snare, the way that he, like, had the dub samples, and even where he used to run a film sample through, like, the whole intro. Like, it was like you're watching a film. It was so sick, and it really inspired me. Like, I was like, oh wow. And then Forward sort of came in the, like, it all sort of came together at one point. It was such an amazing time.
For sure.
Yeah.
So obviously you're getting all these dub plates and you're meeting people and they're sending you tunes, I guess on CD at the time and stuff.
Swapping CDs, mini discs as well.
Yeah. So like any kind of person who's inquisitive, I guess, you probably thought, oh, I need to start actually making my own.
Yeah, well,
my own stuff rather than play everyone else's.
I made a jungle tune with my mate, right?
Yeah.
Years ago, like that was in the 90s, because he had a full studio. So when I turned up there, I was like, wow, like, it was just amazing. It was like Akai sampling, like, you know, Atari ST, you know, all these sick things which I had no idea what I was doing. He built a tune for me, do you know what I mean? And we made a tune. I've got it on tape somewhere, but just on a cassette. But never did anything with it. It was fun. But it wasn't until, like, I got a copy. This is what was it? Logic, E-Magic. It was before Apple bought Logic.
I remember that,
right? Yeah. So we had that, and then I started making tunes on that, really rough. And then Reason 1 came out, and then I was like, oh, that kind of looks like you've got a studio, but it's all on your computer. So I was like, right, I'll start making tunes on that. And all my, like, I made one half decent tune on Logic, E-Magic, that was called World Melts, and I actually cut that to dubplate. But like the dubstep, the good dubstep stuff all came from, well, when I say good, like it was my better stuff.
Your better stuff.
That was like Reason 1.
Yeah.
And like, I loved Reason, man. I still love Reason. It's wicked. It's really, really good. And I think those tunes, like, they're like, I made nearly all of the sounds. Like, the sounds were just like, I didn't really use, I mean, I used some drum samples and stuff, but all of the synth sounds I just made myself and stuff. And like, because I was so limited to what I had, I just made the most of what I had. Do you know what I mean? Like, now I do use samples and stuff, and like, you know, there's a lot of bits and bobs. I might get a little loop from there and then like mash it up a bit and take a bit from it. But this was just like I was recording things from like the telly onto mini disc. Like, and I was like, you know, I was getting like I remember the bass line for like for a few of the tunes, like Square Off was just like a square, and then I just put it really long, like I put it, just went and sampled that, then put that into the NNXT, I think it was at the time, the grey sampler in Reason, and then I just like wobbled it up. Once I knew how to do LFO, I was like, I've made it. Yeah, this is End Time, and you're listening to Cuts and Crates. I made it.
This
and
the sound.
Wobbled it.
Yeah.
And I was just doing, mate, if you listen to Square Off, like there's so many fucking wobbles.
I was actually listening to that the other day.
It's a bit mental.
For my research.
It's actually mental.
So that was signed to Southside Dub Stars.
Yeah, but that came out late. That came out in 2005.
Five.
I made
so
that shit in 2002. Like, I've still got the reason files with the dates on. I actually posted them a while ago.
Yeah.
Because someone was like, "Nah, it came out in 2005, mate." And I was like, "Yeah, but Hatch had it on dubplate for fucking forever,
3-4 years."
And obviously Walshy.
Yeah.
Like Walshy was funny because it took me a while to crack Walsh. Only some tunes he was like, "That was all right."
Oh, is it? That one.
Nah, he was good. And I'd started doing him like dub specials. He's he had such a precise sound.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
Like same with Youngster. Like,
of course.
I love people who have like
who know
what they like.
Yeah.
Mate. And like
true.
See, for me, like coming from a background where I liked a lot of different music, there was a lot of elements that I liked like drawing from, and in my sets they were quite like they weren't just one, like they weren't like half step, or there was quite a lot going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my style. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got their style. But yeah, I love it. I love it when you find people who just know what they like.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to hear their feedback. I like it if they say, "That's fucking shit, Mark. What is that?" I like that. I'm like, yes, I know. I'm like, yeah. No, do you know what? I need to have a word with myself.
Yeah, you don't want to kind of like sugarcoat it too much at times, is it?
No.
Yeah, I get it.
I like that. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm honest with people as well.
Yeah.
Like, but I know that someone's like heart and soul has gone into making that song, so I ain't gonna be harsh. But I just say, try and tune that up. I'm not really into that bit. I'm not, I'll tell you, like, you know what I mean.
A bit further on, 06, you signed. You may have made Where the Dub probably before he got signed.
No, that was. I think that one was. I think maybe about. I can't remember about probably 2004, 5-ish. So it wasn't far away from.
When
that got signed to Dub Police.
Yeah, Dub Police. Yeah.
But that was a mad one. Yeah.
And that was only the second Dub Police that's actually as well, I think.
Yeah, that was an early one.
Yeah.
But that was crazy because like I started giving that out to a few people, and then. Code 9 actually hit me up and was like, but he was already signed to like Dub Police, so he was like, "I like that. I like the what you've done with the Amen drums and stuff with them filtering in and out and that." And he was like, "I wouldn't mind that for Hyperdub." And I was like, I've already given it to Dub Police, mate. It's signed to them. And he was like, "Oh, cool. We're doing another thing," but I just never got round to doing another thing. And I was like, you know what? If I had a one of those. If I had a Dub Police, a Temper, and a Hyperdub, oh mate, that would have just been.
I mean, then that would have been the three heavy hitters, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But you know what? I should have made him some more
yeah,
stuff. I'm just, you know what it is for me. I skip around a lot. I'm just doing a lot. Do you know what I mean? So. Like, yeah, that was cool. But it was an honour that he actually asked me. I loved it that he liked it. I was like, that was enough for me, really.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been great to have a Hyperdub. That would have been awesome. But just the fact that he liked it, I was like, yo, that's cool. And I had another one like that with Deep Medi. Mala liked Envy, but I'd already given that to Southside. So I was like, you know what? And I was like, you know what? I'm still going to write something for Deep Medi. I'm still going to write something for both of them one day.
Yeah. No, you have to.
But that would have been another awesome one on the CV as well, mate.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Going back to Code 9, yeah, him on Rinse was quite.
Forward show was
as a listener here and thinking, who's this Scottish guy playing all this stuff? Scotland?
Yeah.
Like, what do they know about this stuff?
No,
but yeah, he's a legend there, definitely.
Bro, and that show was a wicked show.
It was.
Because I was hearing stuff on there that I'd never heard before. You know, like early Burial stuff. And like, you know, like his stuff, like it was wicked. Do you know what I mean? Space Ape and all that. It was awesome, man. And like, yeah, no, that was a good time. That was good. And Rinse was doing something different. I don't know why. I think Pay As You Go being on Rinse, Roll Deep, then you had like, you know,
the
Code doing his
all the
thing.
names,
You had
like,
oh mate, the list goes.
It was
the heavy hitters.
I remember listening to
Search and Destroy. Who else was on there at the time? Hatcher was on there. Like, do you know what I mean? He left up front and went to Rinse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I remember listening to obviously dubstep and other genres. Like Rinse had their schedule weekly was just like a who's who, wasn't it really?
Yeah,
obviously now I don't know. They got obviously now it still is what it is, but back then it was like
Like, it was like a forward, like on the radio. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Especially even from like say like 6, you just hear everyone playing dubstep and thinking, wow.
They did that. That's what I liked about Rinse as well. They were like Like, you know, it was dark music, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they didn't care. They'd have it on at, like, you know, whatever
Yeah,
time.
they were definitely in the
I
own
think
lane.
that was cool because, like, and like when obviously as they went more commercial, like, no, not commercial, but like when they went legal. When they went legal, they had their like daytime shows, and even with the daytime shows, it was still quite underground music. But like my favourite times is when you just lock in an afternoon and there was like search and destroy rinsing it out or
I love
whatever.
that.
And, like,
yeah.
you know, that was great. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So obviously you're on Rinse at the time. You've got Ford cracking on. You've got your own bits cracking on. Then I presume you were asked. Well, I presume you were asked to mix Dubstep All Stars, which came in around 07 on Temper. So how did that come about as such?
I mean, for me, Sarah asked me to play it forward. That was a massive thing. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like, and then once she was offered me that, I was just like, mate, like, oh man, that was one of the biggest peaks of my career, man. Definitely.
So on like a human level, was there like a sense of validation? You thought in your head, oh, I've actually made it. Not made it, but you know what I mean?
Just to play it forward was validation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then to get signed to Temper, because obviously I had a release with Temper as well. It was on Temper All Stars. I can't remember which one it was, but it was Tolerance was the tune.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that tune with me and Youngster. It was the funniest thing ever, right? Because he was like, this tune, it had samples from Blow, the film Blow.
Okay.
And on the second drop, right, it just went cocaine,
That's
cocaine, right, yeah. And I'll never forget Youngster. He was like on the phone. He goes, "Bruv, don't you reckon it fucking says cocaine a bit too much in the second drop?" And all this, and I was like, "No, I don't. I thought it sounded alright, to be honest." And then I never forget. Right, I played it forward, right, and it was doing that bit, and I was like, I put my hand up, right, and I looked, and Georgie, who's Georgina Cook, who takes the photos, drums of the South, mouth was just open like that.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? Because he's playing this tune to like everyone in there's just like smoking weed and just chilling, and it's going cocaine. I was like, oh my God, no. Now I look back at it, I think it was probably didn't say it a bit too much.
Yeah.
But then I said, all right, cool, and I go, look, I'll tidy up he was like, you need to tidy the mix down up and all that.
100% pure Colombian cocaine, ladies and gentlemen, disco shit. Here is the driven snuff.
Yeah, this is N-Type, and you're listening to Cuts and Crates.
Cocaine, 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 I can't feel my
And I was like, I'll tidy the mix down up. And then I was like, all right, I'll do something with the second drop. So what I did is I made it reverse, saying cocaine. So it was like, would you, cocaine, would you.
So you've spaced out a little bit.
Yeah. So I basically got rid of a bit of it, because it was a bit extreme, I must admit. But the dubplate version still does it. But anyway, but then I got that released on Tempo, so that was validation. And then being able to play it forward was like, yes, mate, wicked. And then Dubstep All Stars 5, I was like, raw. All right, I've got to do something with this. Do you know what I mean? So I just hit up everyone who was in that, who I was getting dub plates from, and I said, look, we've got this album coming.
Yeah.
I need to get some real fresh stuff, right, to like make this. So when it comes out as well, it's going to all be brand new and fresh. You know what I mean? And like it just fell at the right time. There was some huge tracks on there.
I was going to say, like yours, the one I think I've listened to all of them, but a lot of them are all great. But I think when yours come out, it hit dubstep in a very much a sweet spot. I think it was like really at its peak. I would say. It was a great time,
and it was kind of lucky for me as well, because I was playing a lot of other people's tunes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I've always been like that, even with my own stuff. Like I prefer playing other people's tunes. Oh. It's weird. Like,
why's that?
I don't know. Do you know what it is? Like,
okay.
I mean, I do and I don't. Like, I love a reaction when you play your own song and you get a reaction. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But like, I've always takes me time to make tunes. I'm not that quick at making tunes. I've got quicker over time.
Yeah.
But what I find is that, like, just I get so much inspiration from other people's music. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I love music. I love hearing people's creativity, and like that was always a main drive on my radio show, was to introduce people to artists, to tunes that I like. Like it was never really about me. It was about everything that was going on, everyone. Do you know what I mean? And that's what my sets are like.
Yeah.
So, you know, like with Dubstep All Stars, I just wanted to show them the best of the best at that time.
Yeah.
And some exclusive stuff. There's still tunes on there that never came out.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's tunes.
I listened to it last week, and there was a Koki, not today, but had that little sample over it.
Yeah.
That's never seen a light of day, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, I don't know if the intro tune,
intro's come out on
13
Tempo.
Ghosts.
It's come
Did it
out.
come out.
I think it's come out not today on Tempo
Oh,
recently.
not today. Came out recently.
Yeah.
So some of them have come out recently. The Mini Ripperton never came out. Loving you.
No. Yeah. Who made that one?
That's Koki.
Oh God. Okay.
Then, what else? Rough Loving. I called it Rough Loving.
Yeah.
Because, you know why. Loving you.
Yeah.
But then I think the 13 Ghosts, the one with Hatcher and Bengar, that one never came out. I don't think.
There's a lot on there, man.
that I want
Your Souls.
Yeah. We want your soul.
Magnetic Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if one of them came out or not.
They never come out.
that
Souls.
never come out.
And the other one. What was the other one on Magnetic Man?
Oh,
I forgot.
what's it called? Oh, mate. Honestly.
So that mix was all dub plate, wasn't it? All vinyl.
Yeah.
Were you
All dub
nervous?
plates.
Were you nervous? Because
Of course.
it's not like now.
I
doing,
practiced that mix a million times. I'm being honest. I played it and I mixed it.
There
and
must
mixed
have
it and
been,
mixed it
because-
at home. And then when it recorded, then I was like, it was like second nature to me. But like there was the thing is like I rinsed the dubs, right? Because I've been practicing and I was playing out at the same time. So like I was like, some of
wear and
these
tear.
dubs are fuzzy, man.
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
going fuzzy. Like it
Yeah,
ain't gonna
yeah.
sound good. And like Sarah was just like, yo, I'm just gonna like let's just recut them. But you know we save them for the mix. So just
okay.
you know,
Don't play them out. Just save
so I
the mix.
recut them, but
Yeah.
still some of the dubs were hammered. Like, 'cause,
Okay.
when I used to play out, like back in the day, I used to like just chuck them on the side. Like, the trouble was, it was like I used to mix quick, yeah. So to get them back in the sleeve and back in the bag was a bit of a thing in itself.
You couldn't just
So
fling
I
it
put
like.
them on the side, like, and tried
yeah.
to like just keep going, like, and then some of them had like scratches and stuff like that. I remember taking it to transition, right? The final mix, right? Took it to transition to master, and like he was like, "Mate, there's crackles and everything. There's like little pops and that in this." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And he was like,
Authentic.
"You're gonna have to try and do something with it, Mark, because one of them was like,
Yeah.
and he just managed to like chop out the."
Okay.
He managed to sort it out. Big up Jay, he sorted it out for me. But it was
That
it
mix was.
a
I
good
mean,
mix.
yeah. I will give you your flowers on the one.
Yeah.
The whole mix was good, but I will give you your flowers on one mix you done. It was you were playing Slaughter Mob Splurt, and I think
Yeah.
you mixed in
That
drums
never come out,
drums
did it?
West. No, I've got that.
I
Yeah,
didn't come out.
Splurt come out, but you mixed drums West. I banged it into that. I remember seeing that, thinking, I was like, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing time for me, and that mix really like fucking sorted me out, mate. Like I got signed to a big agency, and then I was just flying about everywhere.
Yeah, because obviously I'm in it secondhand, but I kind of presume at the time because that mix for me just like was everywhere at the time.
Yeah.
Even now, I go on YouTube comments. It's been uploaded about 5 times your mix,
Yeah.
and there's always new comments. People like just discovering that mix, like,
Nice, no, that's
like
good.
people like saying, "Oh, I've never what dubstep." Thought it was all like. We'll get to it. Okay.
Yeah. But like this is the thing, like when that mix, like even before it come, some like word must have gone out on the promos that they sent out, yeah, because a big agent like approached me, and I was like, I was on Forward Agency at the time, and I was like, I don't really want to leave because like these guys are doing my album, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't just
Yeah.
want to jump ship. Like they're putting a lot of effort into my
Yeah.
album. Like so, I didn't jump ship. Like, and I stayed with Forward Agency with Amy. Big up Amy, man. And I was like, yeah, I'm not jumping ship on these guys, man. Look what they're doing for me, mate. So, and then once it came out, like I remember Sai Subdub, he run me up, Sai from Subdub in Leeds, And he was like, I can't even do his accent. He was like,
Don't.
Obi wants you. And I was like, what? And he was like, Obi. And I was
Obi.
like, who's Obi? And he was a big agent, like, and
Okay.
he ran an agency called Echolocation.
Yep, I know that.
And then and I was like, okay. And then I spoke to like G and Sarah and that, and they were like, he's a good agent,
Okay.
This might be good for you. And I was
So
like,
it was like their blessing
okay.
as well was a bit
Yeah,
like, needed.
their blessing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to just like,
Jump
I
ship,
want
of
to do that to
course.
someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then they were like, yeah, go. And we went over there. And then within a few months, they were like, fucking Obi. They're like, he's charging us this much. And I was like, no, don't worry. I said, they're my friends. Them guys are my friends.
They were trying to book you through
Because Obi was wicked, mate. Like,
and Obi was like 10 grand.
Yeah. And I was like, no, those guys are my friend. They're cool. So yeah, like, and it was a wicked time. Like, man, he got me so many gigs. And you know what was so funny? I was at my mum and dad's house the other day, and my dad was like, oh, I found some old files here from you. And it was my like my gig lists from then.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh wow, it's my gig list. Like, and he was like, yeah. And like, I just couldn't believe the amount of gigs I had, mate. It was insane, mate. I was looking at it like, wow, that month was like a list like that. It was like that month, and he just got he helped me with so much stuff. He was a great agent to be with at the time.
Okay, so yeah, I want to kind of jump a little bit. You started Wheel and Deal in 2009.
Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to start a label? Because you didn't really need to have a label at the time, and some kind of bigger DJs don't always start a label. They just think, I'm me, what do I need a label for? Why did you feel the need to start a label?
What
were
it
the
was,
reasons behind it?
What it was is the label thing with me, that started from early, because I actually had a label before Wheel and Deal.
As you mentioned, Terrain
Records, yeah. And then what happened with that is I started my final major at university. I tried to set up a label.
Okay.
That was the thing. So my final major was set up the label, and it was Terrain Records. So I basically built this like Flash website for it, and it was pants, man, honestly. No, it wasn't pants. It looked cool, like, but I wasn't very good at the coding, the functionality of Flash.
So, I mean, Flash, the actual the software,
the program,
the software. Yeah.
So I built this, like, it was like it was cool. It was sort of these like sort of cityscapes, like merging in and like click on things, and it was quite interactive. But you get lost in it. I wanted it to be like that. It was all about the music, and there was sounds that you could click, and it was cool, but it didn't function very well. Yeah. And then I did the record sleeves, like with the centerpiece, and what else was there? Oh man, there was like. What else did I do? But I made a tune especially for it and stuff like that. It was all that kind of gear, like going on. And I've still got them. And then I cut a dub, and I was like, "Here's the dub." Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So I did it like, I went in. It was my final major, but that was the launch of the label. Really, that was Wheel and Deal, Terrain.
Yeah.
And then when I left, like luckily when I did my what do they call the end bit when you show off all your stuff at the end of uni?
Like the end of your show, I guess.
Yeah, the end of your show.
Yeah.
And then this guy I met, local guy, he wanted me to teach him some Photoshop stuff. He had a business.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come to your show," and then came to your show, to our show. And then he was like, "Oh, your artwork's wicked. Like, I really love it." Like, and he was like, "I don't think I'm going to be able to learn like Photoshop. So do you want to come and just like do some work for us?" Like, and I started that job before I'd even really finished uni. Do you know what I mean? So I went into a full-time job, and I was doing artwork and stuff. And it was a great job, man. It was an awesome company. And I was there for a while. And he said to me, "Well, you love music, don't you?" Like, he was like, "Look, I'll help you get Terrain started." And he paid for my vinyl to get pressed.
Oh, wow. I mean? Okay.
Yeah. So that was like how that happened. And then like he then started coming out to a few of the club, like to the rate. I think he came to Forward once and stuff. But like he started coming out a little bit. He was quite young, like me. Like, do you know what I mean? But he was a few years older than me, but still young.
Yeah.
And then like he was like getting really into it, and he was like, "Right, should we just change this into like a house label sort of thing?" Like, because like he was into house music. Do you know what I mean? So he was like, because this stuff, like, you know, you can make more money doing house and all that. And I was like, I don't know, mate. It's not really my cup of tea, really. Do you know what I mean? I quite like house. Some of it's cool. But I wanted to play dubstep, and that was what I loved. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, you know, Ford was going and everything.
Of course.
DMZ was going, and, you know, I wanted to do that. So in the end, I went, nah, I'm going to stop. And I stopped doing terrain because I thought, like, you know, if he wants to go that direction, that's not the direction I want to go. So I just carried on, and then I was just DJing without the label. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So then it was always there, but I was like, shall I start it again? And at one point I did actually start it up again a bit, but then trouble is with me, I hyper focus on things, and I'm just hyper focused on Win a Deal. So basically when I started on Echo, Obi was like, yeah, have you got a label? And I was like, I did have a label, but like, you know, it wasn't going the direction I wanted it to go. And then he was like, well, why don't you just start another one? And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Start again, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. So then, I started Win and Deal. And then I helped some other people with labels as well. But like, I started Win and Deal, and it started from there. 2009 was when Win and Deal kicked off.
Okay.
And then, Win and Deal started getting better. I was getting all these gigs in. Like, a few years in, that's when, you know, things got bigger and better. And I was just I started going to America and shit. And I think I went to America before I was with Obi. I did, because I was with Forward Agency.
I think so, yeah.
It's hard to like. It's over time. It's been a long time.
I'm trying to ask, like, in the timeline of stuff.
Timeline it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but it's not always. Yeah, it can't always go that way.
I think I went to America in 07. It was because it was round about Dubstep All Stars.
Okay.
I think I actually went before Dubstep All Stars. I think it was 06. You know.
I think I saw a clip online recently.
When was that? 07?
Was it Dub War or something? You were playing
Dub War,
is
that 07? I think it is.
You were playing, is it Matty G who made that West Coast Rocks tune?
Yeah.
Was that? I don't know
if that's the first one or the second one.
Okay.
That's the thing. I'm a bit lost around that.
Yeah, okay.
But I know that, because I used to party hard, man. This is the thing. But yeah, at that time there, like, that was a wicked time. Yeah, that was like, you know, it's like you're venturing, mate. You're out. It's going, wow, look at this.
So Wheel and Deal's now on kind of like 90 plus releases.
Yeah.
I did check it on Bandcamp, see how many there was. What are the plans for the label kind of going forward? Is there anything that you can maybe reveal, or you just kind of...
I want to release a lot of my own stuff.
Playing it by ear. Okay.
Yeah, I want to release a lot of more of my own stuff, because, like, I mean, over the years, I've focused a lot on other people, and it's been great, and the label's got really popular now. It's doing well, but like, it's like I want to release some more of my own stuff. It was really nice to release my own album on my own label. Yes, that's been nice, you know. And I definitely want to do some more. I'm definitely going to do another album. Like, it's funny because some people say to me, people don't really care about albums no more. Like, people care about, like, the majors care about, you know, singles,
the streaming, and like one track off the album kind of thing. Yeah,
I liked doing it as a project like that. Like, I liked having it all together in one place. Yeah, that was nice. And it worked well. Like, we got some really good response from it. Like, the feedback from because I used a company to help with press and stuff, Hype Music Filter. And they sent it out to all their DJs, and, like, you know, and the feedback I was getting, like, I'll show you the link actually. The feedback from the DJs was awesome, but also, like, what I loved is it was people playing it who I never expected to play it. Okay. Like certain tunes, like so for instance, Scott Garcia, like, was from the Garage World. He was playing a track I made with Nominate called Believe. Yeah. He was playing that on Kiss in his sets. Then you had Sherelle playing some tunes. She played Bubble on BBC. And then I had Jay Cunning playing Meters, which was the tune I played you earlier, which had the sample from Fatty Bassman. Yeah. And he was playing that on Centre Force. And, like, it was just like that for me. And Laurent Garnier was playing one of the tunes on French radio. And he's a house DJ.
Laurent Garnier?
Yeah. So I was like,
wow,
what the hell is going on
that
here?
Is random.
Yeah, random, mate. Random as hell. And I was like,
Crazy.
this is great, like,
Long
because
gone, yeah.
like it's nice for the dubstep guys to be playing my tunes, but I've always been in that world. So for people in other genres
Outside
to
of
be
it.
respecting it
Yeah.
was really nice for me, because I was like, yeah, like I want to take dubstep to other people as well. And that's what, when I went to America, that's what I was doing there. That's what it felt like. I'm here in America.
Yeah.
I'm promoting this music to people, and this is what I like. Do you know what I mean?
You know, we'll get to the album. We'll talk about it a bit later on.
Yeah.
So obviously, you said you're playing in America quite a lot.
Yeah.
Dubstep did start to change a little bit.
Yeah.
Say like 2010, 2011, 2012 time.
Yeah.
It started to get more aggressive, shall we call it, or
Well,
noisier.
do you know what it was?
How did you feel about that at the time?
Do you know what it was? Yeah, I remember that it was Dubstep Forum and things like that were still around.
Yeah.
Right? And I never forget. Yeah, like I think it was someone like it was Joe Nice was talking about Bro Step, something like Bro Step on a radio show or something like that, and someone was saying that we were Bro Step, and I was like, what is that? And I didn't even know what that was. And I was like, what is Bro Step?
What's saying that you were Bro Step?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And like saying people were playing Bro Step. I can't really remember what it was, but I just thought the term, I was like, what the hell is Bro Step?
Who's made that
and
up?
then like, yeah. And I was just like, what is that? It's just a stupid name. I don't know what you're going on about. Like,
Yeah.
and like we play dubstep, do you know what I mean? And then it was like, no, it's like someone explained to me, it's like, yeah, man, like crack a keg, man, like, you know, it's like frat boy kind of like. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I sort of realized, they mean it's kind of like heavy metal or something. I don't know. I didn't really know what the term was. And then like obviously like it did have a change, but to me it was kind of like at the time when garage split up. Like garage split into different sections. Like you had grime, sub-low, like which was Johnny Cash's kind of stuff, and then you had the grime and the esky stuff, and even grime had like 3 different sort of sounds of it. And then you had like your dark garage and all that stuff. Really, in a way, I think dubstep kind of split up a bit, like because it sort of split into like like because I always call it jump up from the jungle days. Like if it was like had jump uppy sort of sounds, then like sort of Dr. P or Flux Pavilion or something like that, I was always sort of calling it jump up. But like that stuff got coined into this kind of bro step stuff, and then obviously it kind of blew up in America, and then you had like people like Skrillex come through later, like who like he became like sort of like your poster boy of that kind of more like jump up sound, like. But like for me, it was just another version of dubstep. But it was, like how like these things evolve. But it wasn't. There was a few of the tunes I quite liked. I remember like I saw you was saying about Sweet Shop. I was actually playing Sweet Shop.
Oh really?
Time. Yeah. I don't. Was that wasn't your cup of tea? Or?
I'll be open and say, so you hated that tune.
Okay, cool. See, now the thing was, at the time I was actually playing it because I tell you why, it had the hardcore bit at the beginning, and I like that.
Oh yes, that.
See, that was the thing.
To be fair,
for me,
yes, that part of the tune, I do like that bit. Yeah.
But see, like that, I liked that at the time. Like now, like, and certain tunes like this, they weren't going to last forever. In respect of you're not like for me, I wasn't going to be listening to it like now, like as in like it was a banger at the time. Do you know what I mean? And when these like new sounds came, like he did that Badman sound. I liked that because it sounded a bit like a clip, like clips, not Eclipse. Yeah, clips in drum and bass because it had that doo 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 doo. And like that sound to me sounded like Slippery Slopes. Yeah. Right. So and I quite like some of that stuff. So when it like the early days it came through, I liked that. And then like as time went by, there started becoming a lot of like copies of those guys. Like they kind of started that really. I think like Dr. P and Flux, and I released one of the Flux's tunes on Willie Dell.
Like Meathead's
dark. Like,
I'm not saying because I do actually like Meathead.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a bit.
So like like I mean, I liked what they were doing. Like, but then obviously it got to the stage where there was a lot of like people trying to rip them off, and there was so many versions of like all this like it kind of had its own thing going on, but like there was a lot of copycat stuff going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, wow, it's just getting like
That's the thing.
every man and his dog was making a dubstep tune. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I used to get the press team people send me stuff, and I'd be like, it's another rip-off. It's another rip-off.
Yeah.
And it was pants. And then it was just like, you know, those guys, they were doing their thing. I respect them. They can do their thing. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, I liked a little bit of the jump uppy stuff at first, and then I just kept going back towards. I just liked how Benga and Scream kind of did it, like, and you know, it's sort of like
a bit of musicality to it, I guess you could say. Yeah,
kind of like I think with the energy that like Benga had, it was kind of like techno-y slightly. Do you know what I mean? And like Scream with the wobbles, it was still quite dubby wobbles, like Koki. Koki was like probably my favourite of like that, like, you know, the steppy kind of woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like I sort of went back a bit more that way, because like, I mean, those guys were blown up, like Dr. P and Flux, and they were getting more and more popular, and they were kind of getting towards the charts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they were doing their thing, and it was their early underground ones that were my favourite. It's the underground stuff that I like. Do you know what I mean? And I don't cuss anyone for doing whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's their thing. And you know, with dubstep, like it's gone through a lot of transitions. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of good music around now.
Yeah,
that's why I think things like this, like podcasts like this, are really important. Yeah, because like, you know, there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to shine light on, a lot of positive stuff. You know what I mean?
I think it's important, maybe in the context, obviously, of myself as a raver going to the events and stuff. Like when it was like, say, DMZ, kind of, you knew like Casper and Koki would have like that. Like they make that, so that leave that to them. That's what they do. Then obviously, as I say, everyone started to try and get that. Reaction for the tune, so it all got a bit muddy.
Yeah, because like Casper's stuff is kind of jump up. Like, I mean, I don't know how you call it in dubstep, but that's the easiest way for me to explain it. Like he's got kind of jump uppy tunes, but he's still got an underground vibe with it.
I would say so. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's the thing. Like and like my favourite sound of dubstep, what I've always called it, is dark energy.
Okay,
that's what I like.
Sinister stuff.
Because when it's sometimes when it's a bit like too. A bit too minimal, too not. There's no groove in the beat. Yeah, that I like a bit of groove in the beat. There's got to be a shuffle, even if it's just hi hats or something to kind of create a groove. If it's just wow, it's not. It ain't like grooving. You know what I mean?
The shuffle,
the groove, the shuffle comes from garage for me.
Oh,
that's
sure.
where, and that's why it's been so nice in the last year or two, or the last couple of years, for sure. Where garage's beats have made their way back into dubstep. Yeah, and there's been some garagey stuff that I'm like, yo, this is sick.
No, totally. So I want to maybe talk about now we're here, maybe dubstep on a more grander scale. It used to be in a lot of like festivals and stuff, dubstep, years back, but it seems to have like it's not really on them anymore, the festivals as such.
It's such a shame.
Do you think there's a reason for that? Why it's not featured on the big, it is on the big stages and like maybe, what's that one in Belgium, Rampage, like that vibe, but over here you'd get kind of more like a dubstep tent or stage in the festivals, but now you don't get that anymore. Is there a reason you think that's happened?
I think that there's definitely a reason.
Okay.
Like, see now, like what it is, right? Is and this really came from when dubstep, like when that mad jump up stuff come, and that got really, really popular, especially in America. Over here, people are more like into the deeper side of dubstep, but then like. Because over here, like dubstep blew up so hard, but it was like you literally walk into that JD, Foot Locker, it was always playing everywhere, right? And on a weekend, there was so many. Like, look, when I was telling you about my gig list, and like it was everywhere. Like every weekend, there was dubstep everywhere. There was like loads of people doing dubstep in every single city in UK. There was dubstep, and it almost got overkilled a bit. Do you know what I mean? It was rinsed. It got rinsed out. Do you know what I mean? So then it took us a while. Like, I think that was around about 2010, 11, 12-ish. Around then, dubstep popularity over here started dropping down. And then I think drum and bass started coming back up again. Yeah. I remember a time where drum and bass guys were booking us. And it was around 2009. Was like when I was getting booked at all these drum and bass raves. I was playing at One Nation and like all this stuff. playing dubstep, not even playing jungle and drum and bass. I was like, these are like raves that I'd always wanted to play out when I was a kid, when I was a bedroom DJ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was playing dubstep at these raves. Do you know what I mean? Warming up for Serum and warming up for like Andy C or Randall or whoever.
Yeah.
So like, the nice thing was I actually got to meet all these guys and actually do a lot of touring with like people. I used to see Hype quite a lot, like when we used to go away. Pendulum, like a lot of these people, and I got to meet them, which was crazy because I was like, wow. I loved you guys' stuff. I still do. Do you know what I mean? So, but at that time, dubstep blew up so hard, and it did get rinsed out. And then, obviously, we all went on to big agencies, and then a lot of the smaller promoters couldn't afford people anymore, and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of the like your roots promoters like kind of dropped off and disappeared. And then, there was a big period where like obviously the popularity of dubstep went down, and then a lot of people got dropped from agencies and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then the agencies weren't really supporting dubstep. They just sort of like got rid. They'd only kept a couple people. Like, I think Benga and Scream was still rocking and rolling.
Yeah, they were probably supporting the hype rather than the genre itself.
Yeah. So a lot of people went. They just kept like I was who was I with? I've been through loads of the big agencies, mate. It's mental. I was with Coda. I've been on Echolocation. I was on William Morris, Reprise, Elastic. I've been through.
Wow.
All.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's mad. But the agencies have a lot of say on what goes onto these festivals, and like these big festivals, they've got deals with these agencies, right? So, like, only recently I saw something on I've been saying this forever. Do you know what I mean? But recently there was a post on Instagram I saw, and it split up what these agents.
There's a guy. I think it might have shared it. It's called Arnie Wav. I'm not sure where he's from.
I'm not sure.
In Europe
but
somewhere.
It's spot on.
He's broken a lot of it down. Yeah,
it's spot on. Like this is the thing. It's like if you're with certain agencies, you're going to get on like these big shows. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're like trying to do it yourself, it's fucking hard work.
Yeah,
like,
no chance.
You might get a taste of it if you make enough noise. Yeah, you might get a few bookings here and there. Like because I know some big DJs who look after themselves, and they do get some of the bookings, but it's not like it's few and far. Like you know what I mean. But like if you're with a big agent, they'll get you on Glasgow, they get you on everything, Boomtown, the lot. Do you know what I mean? But like there's definitely since 2019, right? 2019 was a wicked year for dubstep, right? Like me and Youngster had just been to Australia, and every rave was rammed. Like literally, there was a couple like weekday ones which were kind of quiet. Like in what we did in New Zealand, they were kind of quiet, and in Australia. But most of the tour was sold out, ram. Yeah, and we came back, and I was just like, mate, we're on to a winner here.
Inspired.
Yeah, we're on to a winner, mate. Dubstep's blowing, mate. And then we got back, and we got booked for some big festivals in 2020.
Yeah,
but then COVID come, right? Sorry to say the word, but then when that come and all this lockdown stuff happened and all that stuff,
was done, innit?
And then it was like all this stuff we've been building up from that bad period around 2012-ish, I reckon it was 2012 to up to 14, 15. That period there was like, it went really quiet for dubstep. Yeah. But then we were building and building and building. It was getting more and more popular. The raves were starting to get good. 2019, I was like, yes, mate, we're on to a winner. 2020 come, COVID wiped us out, and it wiped out everything. But then when the big promoters wanted to start booking things again, they weren't booking dubstep. They were going for safe bet stuff. They were going for techno and
house,
drum and bass, house. Your big genres that have got a lot of money behind them,
Precisely.
and they were getting people through the door. They were looking to get people through the door, and the corporates have a big say.
Yeah,
corporates have a big say.
Of
so,
course,
this is the thing. Like,
I mean, like the corporates are deciding who plays at the big ones, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. Like, you know, all these fashion labels doing stages and stuff. Like Shein.
It really is. Yeah. Like you've got to make yourself look. You still got to network. You still got to make yourself look good. You've still got to be out places. You want to do the best sets you can do. But if you're on a big agent, you're going to get the bookings. You're going to get on things. Do you know what I mean? They've got the power.
Yeah. I think, as I was saying to Youngster on his pod, is like best just do everything organically now and just don't rely on.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. You could be with an agent and everything's sweet, and then the next week you're gone. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So on the more kind of dubstep geeky talk, I've got to bring it up. 140
What they're saying?
Yes.
Oh god, here we go. Right.
What
yes.
is, in your viewpoint, where's this come from, and was there even a need for it? Like, do you agree with it? Like,
Do you know what?
Why has this happened?
This is very similar to when the bro step saying come, man, for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like 140, and then I thought, like, at the time, I started putting out some really early 140 jungle, right? And it's when I brought Terrain back, yeah? So I put out some early Bentham stuff, and we put out some, who else was there? Arc88. Even like Dismantle's some, he'd done some sort of jungle-ish ones. So I thought, when they were talking about 140, I was thinking they were meaning 140 jungle at first.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, oh, right, yeah, 140, yeah, we do a bit of that, yeah. That's 140,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, so, and then I started clocking that, no, people were saying it, and it was round about the time where dubstep was at a bit of a lull, right? And like, it was, then I worked out, hold on a minute, are people actually calling it this because they don't want to call it dubstep?
That's what I thought.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And one of my agents in America, like at the time, he was like, you know, dubstep's becoming a bit of a dirty word. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he's still an agent now. He's still got a big agency. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And then my agent at the time in the UK was like, can you kind of go like the Skrillex kind of route? And I was like, well, no, because it's not really my sound. I don't really do that. Like, do you know what I mean? That's his sound, like, you know. And he was like, yeah, that's what's really blowing up. And I was like, right. And this was already like, you know, in the States, they'd had that going on for a while. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, people calling it 140 now. And I think, yeah, people were originally calling it 140 because they didn't want to call it dubstep.
Yeah.
Because dubstep wasn't popular that much in the UK right now. And people started wanting to play, carry. Because the funny thing is like people say, doing a 140 set. And you come and see them play and they be playing dubstep.
I hate that, by the way. The
Yeah.
140 set, I absolutely despise that. But, you know.
Well, this is the thing, like, and I'd come and I'd see them play a whole set of dubstep. And I'd be like,
Yeah,
why didn't you just call it dubstep? And then that was the thing. But I get the terminology now because you've got guys making basically techno dubstep. It's techno. You've got like, you know, like you've got like Sims making like some techie kind of garagey dubstep.
Yeah,
and in that frame, I think it kind of works because you've got dubstep, techno, garage, all in one thing. That's when 140 works.
From that viewpoint, if you're making multiple genres at 140, I get it. But when you're saying
but
dubstep,
when people were saying,
dubstep,
he's doing a 140 set, and you come and see him play, and he's just playing a dubstep set, I was like, well, that's just basically like off dubstep. Isn't
we were saying before, as Nefertiti is a good example.
Nefertiti, he's doing his thing,
drums, grime,
and grime,
techno,
and grime is in there,
all at a 140 tempo. So it makes sense.
That makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I've looked at it and it's kind of come back around. So it kind of works with that. But at the time, it was a bit of a piss take because obviously people just didn't want to call it dubstep. But now it does work 140 because you've got garage jungle and it's all round about 140 with grime. I mean, I always used to play grime in my sets. My sets were like, I don't know, 30% grime and dubstep. Do you know what I mean? If you listen to my really old like rinse shows, there's like a lot of grime, like because I was cutting grime dubs as well.
Okay. So that's the 140 discussion out of the way. I would have kind of maybe I guess not really circle back, but kind of talk about your graphic design work as well. Yeah. As you are both graphic designers.
We're both graphic designers.
Yes.
We love it. We're artists.
Yes. You have kind of said before where you went to art college and stuff and done your GVQs and BTECs. Obviously, you've done a lot of artwork for like a lot of labels, rinse labels, like Practice Hours, rinse sessions, your own label, Dub Police. You've done some screamers and work as well.
I did 1 and 2. They were the ones I was involved
with a Give Up Art. You did mention that before.
Yeah, I did the stencil. Like.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he put the final package together.
Okay.
It's one of my favourite artworks I've done, actually, that one.
Is that the woman or something like?
Yeah, it's like the Screaming Woman. Like, it's like an old 1950s kind of like horror film. Like, I got it from that and I just drew it. Like, and then basically made the stencil. I've still got the original stencil, like somewhere in the loft. I've got to find it. Yeah. And I just took it in the garden and sprayed it. and then I scanned it and then sent it to him, and then he put the rest of the thing together. And then I did that for number 2 as well.
Yes.
And then I think that one of the other ones was like a collection of some of them together. But the other one, I think the first one was the best looking stencil.
Yeah.
Because I used to like doing stencils, man. I did stencils for quite a few things. I did the Big Apple. Remember the
banana?
Yeah, on the wall and all that. That's my stencil as well.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah, I forgot I did the Big Apple stuff.
Oh, okay, I'm hearing some new things now. Okay.
Yeah, like the Benga flame, I did that. And if you look at the back, you've got all like the stencil text. And I remember when I first did it, I did the Big Apple logo as a stencil, and then I did the rest of it as like a font and artwork. Was like, nah, Mark, just do the stencil for the text as well.
Yeah.
So I cut out a little stencil and made it like, so it's real, because he was like, nah, I don't like a font, do it like as a stencil. So I did it as a stencil. Okay. But yeah, that was when I was doing a lot of stenciling at that time.
Yeah. Did you find doing artwork did it help your music career?
I've always,
did it kind of boost you a bit?
Or it definitely did.
One and the same, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it boosted me, but like, I've always loved doing art. Like art and music, to me, creative stuff goes hand in hand, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But like, as a boost, I mean, it definitely got me like working with different people. Like I mean, I was working for Genius, doing some graphics for him. Yeah. Gary, Dump Valve. I did some of the Dump Valve artwork as well. Who else was there? Casper, Dub Police.
Yeah.
I think at one point I was kind of like your go-to man. Do you know what I mean? Because there wasn't a lot of graphic designers in our scene. Do you know what I mean?
It's something like now I look back at some of the old things I have. I think, that was N-Type. I've got the Rinse Sessions. Is it like kind of a 5-6 CD pack or something? Yeah.
And I liked one I quite liked looking back at was the Practice Hours. Practice Hours 2 is my favourite one, because they had a really cool photo of Wiley and Skepta and that. And Jammer on the front. And if you look at that, if you look in the small print, it's like designed by N-Type. Terrain was I was using Terrain as my design thing as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So some things you should just see Terrain and not N-Type, but it's still me. Do you know what I mean? But,
okay.
It's always gone hand in hand. But yeah, it definitely got me through a few doors.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't help me music. To be fair.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but because you got to take opportunity as you can get. Yeah.
Because it made me more of the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, precisely.
Because you're helping out with other things. Like I redrew the Rinse logo. So there's like the original Rinse logo was like a really bad quality Photoshop of like that DJ, like the round head DJ one. And then G said, can you make it better quality, like, so we can use it? So I made it into a vector. So I just basically redrew it and changed it a little bit. And like, and then that was the secondary like Rinse logo basically. And then the new one, which they've still got, is the one that Give Up Art done.
Yeah,
she done it. Yeah. But my one was like basically a redraw of the original. I just like made it so you could use it on different things.
Yeah.
And it was a vector then. You can blow it up the size of your house. Do you know what I mean?
For those who don't know, a vector is something you can just like make it the size of a billboard, essentially.
Yeah. It's like pinpoints kind of thing. Like,
not pixels. Sorry, we're geeking out here.
Yeah, because pixels are like, your Photoshop. And then Illustrator is more your vector.
Yeah.
So it's vector drawing. You're using like, yes. Is that an easy way to explain
that?
No.
I think
that's how nerdy do you want to get?
I think everyone's at home thinking, what are they talking about now? Okay, anyway, we'll move on. We did touch it earlier, but I'll talk about your album, which was released end of last year, November. Typography. I was there for the launch at Planet Wax.
Yeah,
it was a long time coming. So what made you kind of start actually getting things into gear of the album? Because you got a lot of tunes, well, not say a lot. Some were made like some years back.
Yeah.
So what made you start thinking, you know what, I've got all this, I better start.
Well, this is the thing. The whole album came off the bat. Like, I've always wanted to do an album, always. And like, I actually got an offer from it was Genius at the time. Like when I was on Rinse in the early days of Rinse.
Yeah.
And it was just after I'd done the Temper release, what we talked about earlier, Tolerance. And he was like, "Do you want to do an album?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "We'll help you with it." But I didn't really feel ready at that point to do it. And like, I kind of thought, I want to do it myself rather than get help with it as such. But then, so that was my reason. But then I was like, I'll do it. And then it's like, I'll do it one day.
Oh, them
and
ones.
then it just
never
I
happened.
get too involved in other
Yeah.
stuff, and when I started winning, when I was getting all these gigs, I was fucking flying around everywhere. Like I didn't have much time on my hands, but then I was also like doing the label and stuff, and I started like doing a lot of other people's stuff, and then doing less of my stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I always wanted to do it, and it was going on, and then I'd start making tunes like I was going to build the album, and then I'd end up giving them to another label or like signing them.
Oh, you sign them away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it was hard. I found it hard to get the stuff together to be able to
Keep
say,
it.
there it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when I started really making the album was 2019 off the back of this tour. I talked about like the Australia thing where me and Younks come home, and I was talking to Younks on the tour going, I'm going to do an album. I'm going to get it done. And I started really building it then. And then we went into COVID. So I was sitting at home. So I was making a lot of tunes then, making tunes, starting stuff, getting ideas down. So, basically it started in 2019. It could have been done a lot quicker, right, if I'm honest. But then I just had other things that were going on. I was, releasing other people's music and then doing a lot of raves. And then Wheel and Deal turned 15. I could have actually put it out before Wheel and Deal turned 15. And it was going to be part of that. But then I still needed to mix everything down. And then I had this thing where my studio was a nightmare at home.
Okay.
And this is partly the reason why I built a studio in the end. And I was like, I can't get the sound right how I want it. Even though like I did a remix for Peng Shui actually, and it went on to UKF, and that one that sounded puckered. Like, to be fair, I don't listen to it now. And oh, that sounded quite good. I was just unsure because I was changing things. The speakers, the room was changing a lot, and then I just thought I need to get this mixed. I need to go somewhere and mix it because I can't mix it here. Right, it's getting like I've got different monitors now. I moved to the Genelex with a sub. I was messing about in the room loads, and then I was like, right, I'm going to go to Loss and mix it there because we were working on some tunes at the time. And he works very methodically. Like, it was awesome. Like, actually working with him, it was great. Like, some of my favourite producers to work with, him, Chrome Star, mate. Oh my god, like his tunes, man, and his creativity.
Yeah,
like fucking mate, awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just like the speed, like is insane.
Yeah.
Like and he's good on the piano, man. Like Chrome Star's great on the piano. Like when I sit down with him, we get the key we want, and he'll just make a little wicked little melody, and it's just like
he'll just punch it in, wouldn't he? Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him work. Yeah,
like, he's good with chords and stuff.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. So that's been fun. Like, and I used to love working with the others as well. Others was wicked. Boylan's great. I had my team. I've got my team.
Yeah.
And like this is the thing. Working with Lost is awesome as well. We've done some great tracks together, and like going there and actually sitting with him and mixing it down. He's taught me some stuff. It was like I always found saturation a weird subject, right? I mean, this is going out to the nerds and stuff, and clipping as well. I was never like really sure on the on saturation, how to use it, and like and he showed me some really cool little tips with that, and a good plugin for this. I was always using Logic compressor for sidechain and stuff. And he showed me a new plugin that's really good with sidechain, and you can actually see what's going on. And I was using that, and he like working with another person to mix down the song. I've learned a few things now. I mean, I played you some of my new tunes earlier, and they sound alright in it. It's the first time I've heard them outside the studio.
Yeah.
And they're starting to get the way I want them to sound. But I think if I hadn't have gone to Lost, I think I'd probably still be going around in circles right now.
Okay, and just like still thinking the album.
Well, no, I think I'd just still be tweaking the mix.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah, not getting it done.
I think it really helped me to sit down and mix it somewhere else, not in my studio, right? And to get someone else's ears on it. You know what I mean? And like, I just love it. The one thing I've got to big him up for as well, he really cared about it, and I could tell that. And so when I'm working with him, he wanted it to sound the best it could sound. So I like that. I like it that someone puts their like heart into it when it's not even their project. You know what I mean? It's and it was great, and it worked well, and I'm proud of that album now. And it was nice that with that album I tried to get everyone who I've been making tunes with at that period of time in on the album.
Yes.
So it wasn't just about me, because this is the thing with radio and stuff like that. It's never just been about me. It's about other people's music. So with that one, it was nice to show people, these are the guys I'll be making tunes with. This is this. And then the next album I want to do, I just want to do all my own beats and a couple of vocalists. and that's what I'm building. Like at the moment, is my next album. Even though people are, they don't care about albums no more. I don't care what
we
anyone
do,
says.
man. We do.
I like
say we
I
do.
like
I
a
think they
project.
do, man.
I like
Yeah.
a product. That's something that's like a whole. I listen to, and I tried to make the album like a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
And go through a few different styles, but take people on that journey from the beginning to the end. And at the end of the album, you have Meters, which is this jungle, hardcore-y, dubstep-y track, which is kind of where I'm going with some of my stuff. Because it plays like homage to the old stuff that I was doing from when I was a kid, and it still sounds like I love, but just giving it a little fresh twist.
So on Typography, would you say, obviously it was an album what spans maybe 6 years in making, would you say, or 7 years, or whatever?
Well, from 2019, I reckon, and it was like, it was nearly ready to go, like in 2024. So come out end of 2025.
Would you say there is an overarching theme to your album? Would you say?
I'd say it's like I say, like it kind of tells you what it is with the name Typography. It's like basically a sample of where I came from and where I'm going, kind of thing. And it's like, it's a story. These are people I've worked with, it's a story really.
All right, so on to the hard part. Do you have any kind of? I know this is a tough question. Do you have any favourites on the album, or a track where you've got a good memory of?
I love Meters. The last track. I love it because it's different. It's different.
I'm gonna put a little clip of Meters in this section in the post production.
I love that one because it's kind of got jungle in there. It's got a bit of hardcore with the piano stabs, or the piano melody that comes in later. I loved it because it had a bass riff from Fatty Bassman from Peng Shui. Big up Peng Shui. Big up the Outlook gang as well, Outlook Orchestra. It was really nice to make that song. Yeah, this is N-Type, and you're listening to Cuts and Crates. There's Bubble. I really like Bubble. That one was cool because I don't know why I made that tune. It came out of nowhere. I took it to Chromestar. He did the original mix and master on that. I took it to him and he was like, he just mastered it. He didn't mix it, he just mastered it. And he was just like, I love this tune. And the funny thing was, like, I've had this a load of times, like people said, like, someone was like, oh, this one sounds like Chromestar. And I was that's weird because I was like, he mastered it. But that's weird you say that. Like,
oh wow!
And we were making quite a lot of songs together at the time.
Yeah.
And I really do think that, like, when you're making songs with other people, it does rub off. Like you get into a mindset or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, someone said that to me. It was funny. Like, I sent one of the like clips of the tunes that I played you earlier, one of the remixes to Slimzy the other day, and he was like, "Did Sykes engineer that for you?" And I was like, no mate, I did it myself at home. But obviously I've been releasing a lot of like Sykes or stuff. Six, if you call him Six or Sykes. I call him Sykes, his name's Simon. But like he thought he engineered it for me, and I've had this a lot in my whole time of making tunes. A lot of people think that I'm not actually making the tune, and I think it's because I've been a DJ. And like more of a DJ, and there are a lot of DJs out there who like sit with an engineer. They're making the tune, but they sit with an engineer. But like with nearly all of my songs, they're me, but then like I might get them mastered elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, or mixed.
I think that's why you say probably you want to do your own album where just me mixing beats.
Because this one, I reckon I think I'd probably be going around in circles still because of the situation with the room and the changing of monitors and just. It was throwing me off. I think it was nice to get that mix and master in one place because the other thing with that was the whole idea was is so. If we master it all and mix it in the same place, it's all going to have a coherent sound.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole album, the levels are going to be about the same. The sound, the EQ will be about the same, and that's why like I loved doing it that way. But now I've kind of got used to my new studio room, and it's sounding good when I played it in here. I want to just mix it myself in that studio room and go for it. But like, yeah, working with Lost was great. Like, all awesome, man. He did a great job.
Okay. You've done a video with for More Time, shall I say, with Eclipse.
Yes.
Have you got more videos to
Yes,
come
we have.
from the album?
So the next one is me with Donny Rampage. That's coming. Track's called Too Bad Mind. I showed you some of the footage earlier. We've got to edit it all, and then we're doing another video for Grim Sickers, Top of the Map. Me with Lazy K and Grim Sickers. Yeah. So that one's coming as well.
Okay, nice. I think that might be
mate, we've done
the end of things.
Gone in.
Yeah, we're nearly 2 hours. I think gone in, mate.
2 hours.
Yes.
My God.
It's been very emotional. Mate, I definitely got a good 360 of your career, because I was searching online for more in-depth life stuff.
Yeah. I don't really go that in-depth.
There wasn't really a lot before that, but I think we've touched quite a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
I've never really done I've never sat down and done a whole show like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've done the odd little interview here and there.
Little 20 minutes,
but
half an hour.
This is a deep dive, mate.
Yeah,
You've got
mate.
the full shebang.
It's a big Wi-Fi going on here.
Oh, mate, sorry, mate. There's going to be a lot of shopping.
Mate, no, but I'm leaving most of it in anyway.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah, mate. Been a pleasure having you. So,
man.
N-Type Mark. This is Cuts and Crates with N-Type number 3. And you know what? Have you got any shouts you want to give anybody? No.
Big up everyone I'm working with in a minute. Big up my friends and fam. Big up my new nephew, Edison.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah. Big up my little girl, Rifa, Leia, everyone, Big up.
Okay, nice. Okay, Cuts and Crates number 3 with N-Type. And we are out until next time. Peace.
Yeah, this is N-Type, and you're listening to Cuts and Crates.